Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Sorry about that, folks. We're here. Hi, it's me. Yep, it's me live and in person tonight. Oh my gosh. Tonight we got Beth MArshall, and I'm excited. And right now I want to bring in the one, the only, Jack Ledoux. There she is. Hi, Jack.
Hello.
With her glass of white. I have red, darling. It's light-hearted red. It's from Cupcake.
See, notice I have a glass. He has a bottle.
Low and short. No, I have this.
Oh, there's George. Hey, speaking of George Mark. Hello, George Mark.
Is he here? Hi, George. Hi. How are we? Were just talking about you moments ago, my friend.
Yeah.
All the things I can assure you. Now, before we start tonight, folks, I want to do something. I want to do a magic trick. This just came in the mail, and I thought it was kind of cool. And it's got to do with a Rubik's Cube. Remember those? Oh, golly. They're very popular in magic right now. We put it inside this little box here, okay? Get in there, you little devil. There you go. We put it in there, and we cover that whole thing up with a cap like that. Now watch what happens. I hate Rubik's Cubes, but I love M&Ms. I love M&Ms a whole lot. And that is my newest fun magic trick that I got in the mail today. Isn't that fun? Isn't that delightful? Isn't that fun?
I like that.
So,
that was fun.
I thought you might enjoy that for something different. And maybe we'll do a trick every week, ladies and gentlemen.
That'd be nice.
Just about that time, folks, I've got to tell you, and I am excited. So, in the words of the one and only Mr. Jackie Gleason, and away we go. Here we go. It is Beth MArshall, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Actually, it is Beth MArshall and Friends. And tell us who these guys are, Beth.
These are my guinea pigs. They are about almost maybe 3.5 now. And this right here is Ace. And this is Art.
Hi, Art and Ace.
Oh my God, I love them so much.
Named after my favorite things, art and poker.
I like both of those. I have to say, I enjoy art and poker, but I would throw in most any food. There you go. So how are you, my dear? It is such a pleasure to finally meet you. I can't believe that we have never run across each other before.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I know we have a lot of mutual friends. We talked about that a little bit in our preliminary conversation through Ron Snyder, who's been a guest, and Pammy O'Bannon, I know, is a mutual friend. And I was looking, and of course you had George last week on, George Wallace.
George Wallace. In fact, I think, it just dawned on me, we're going to do a Diamond Horseshoe reunion show not too long. And it just occurred to me, Pammy directed the damn thing. She should be there for that.
She's amazing. She should.
She should. Not to mention her history with Hoop-Dee-Doo. So that's so much fun. Well, my dear, it is great to have you here. And one thing I want to do is everything I have read about you leads me to believe that I should say thank you for all that you've done.
Oh, thank you for saying that and for having me.
Oh, my great pleasure. I feel very lucky to get you to be on the show. I truly do. This is exciting for me, and lots of fun. And I just got to find out where everything is. There we go. There's where everything is.
There we go.
I am going to start because I like to use photos to get the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And this is a
afraid.
surprise to me because I don't know what these photos are.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Exactly. And this is what makes it fun. Now we're going to start way up here with what I think might be my favorite shirt ever. Be fabulous, don't suck.
That's the BMP logo.
That is truer words, my dear. Truer words were never spoken. Now this, I'm assuming, was at Fringe.
Yeah. So this shot is probably it may have been, I think it was a couple years ago, maybe 2019 or 18. And so that's George Wallace there and Matt Wall, who used to be a producer several years before me.
Jumps us up to this photo, which I think is pretty much the same photo with different
years. Yeah. You're back years. I don't know which one's first, but yeah.
No. And then of course George was on last week, and here is George again.
Now that's this year. That's this past Fringe.
And what gives us that hint?
That mask.
You bet it does. You bet it does. I was out. I had a marvelous time at Fringe this year. I truly did.
I dragged him. I finally dragged him.
I loved it this year. And it actually, I was really worried because it truly was my first real outing,
Mine too.
And I was really worried. And it was also, the 30th year. So it was a celebratory year. And the first time since I've been involved with Fringe in 97 that I have literally had nothing in Fringe or nothing to do or not running it or anything. So it was my first Fringe to be nothing but a patron in. And it was delightful. The timing was delightful. It was reminiscent in size of about maybe 3 or 4 years before my end of my tenure. It was smaller fest, but a mighty one and a good one, and the spirit was good. It's nice to see everybody out.
Yes.
And everybody was very, very respectful of each other and what they and how to approach people, how to approach each other. They were absolutely lovable. Yeah, they'll be nice as long as you feed them, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have some celery leaves.
Yeah, my Solomon loved those too. I
have to say the Fringe
guinea pig fans
brings me to this photo, and we discussed earlier that I have said this will be my last show any number of times. And, which leads me to this photo right here, because I think I get the feeling, Beth, that is not just Fringe with you. I think. Perhaps the theater might be in your soul, as I think it is in any performer worth their salt, shall I say. Yeah. But what, I talk for a living. What was this and why did you do that?
Okay, so my gosh, this is a great photo. So this is what is called a Tip the Fringe box. And the tech team, the carpentry team of Fringe that year made these boxes that sat outside of the lobby in the Orlando Shake, in the beer tent, and at the Orlando Rep, that people could just put their loose change, just any kind of donation in it. And so the staff at that time, whoever helped make the box, like the TD and the people around the tech side did the making of it, but then the painting was the staff, volunteers or whatever. And then whoever was on signed it. So I signed it first. So it was signing the bottom of the box. They're still around somewhere.
Well, I think they're a great idea. I think they should be in. They should be in all the time. I think
I stole it from the Edmonton Fringe. They did it, and it was a thing that we did. I mean, now, yeah, they're most beneficial, like at the beer tent or around the vendors when you've got cash, because so many people now do prepaid. Yeah, and they have an ability to tip the Fringe when they buy a ticket online or make now a tip to the artist even. So I think it's maybe useless, but they're still around.
Well, they should be. They should be. I mean, they'll never be no use for a tip box as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
I know. I think they should be, because as many times as I saw people going to the ATMs and pulling cash out, people still had a lot of cash, and still some of the vendors only take cash.
Right.
So you're going to have cash on them. So I still think they're valuable.
But I get it with the advent of Venmo and PayPal and every other damn thing there is. You know, you can just do a little scan in Venmo. So, in fact, they did that the other night at a house down on Church Street.
Mm-hmm.
We went to see Frog Pig Revisited.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Did you enjoy?
Yeah.
I had a blast the first time. I was very impressed the first time. I was 10 times impressed this time, and I'll tell you why. Little tiny house, 11 people, Beth.
Was it upstairs, downstairs?
Upstairs. 11 people in the audience, and I can say this. I'm going to be 60. These kids came out and killed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They took their butts off.
Yeah.
Those 11 people. They didn't lose a beat. Joel exhausted me.
Mm-hmm. He is high energy. He's got the show. It's second nature.
It's insane. Now, I get the feeling that not just theater, but you're something of an advocate as well for pretty much
being on the right side of history.
We can call it justice. We
don't generally talk about politics. Trump sucks, but I do want to. I want to talk about this, and this is the Inclusivity Project. Tell us about that, please.
Okay. So
I love the way you said that.
In short, it saved my mental health this past year from the pandemic. Yeah. It gave me purpose. And so what happened was, originally I was hired by Daytona State College to do a devised theatrical piece that would be on their Gillespie stage at the end of the spring semester last year. Mm-hmm. Then COVID happened. And so we were coming up with creative ways to still keep my contract alive, still keep education for the students, and to branch out into the community and do some DEI work and just get a good mix of people of all walks to be involved. So what was going to be, a couple of months project literally turned into a year-long work where we had guest artists. We were talking about Charlie Crook, who is a friend of the show and who was here. He came on as one of our guest speakers, and I had different artists of different ages, races, sexualities, gender, abilities, from all different cultures, come on and do workshop work with the entire inclusivity group, which totally was around about 100 people. Then there was like varying tiers of core groups. And so then that went on for a year. We did monthly things, and we had projects that we did and creative development that we worked on, everything from art and mental health together to dealing with the climate of everything from George Floyd, also COVID itself. And so much work just started coming out of this project. And literally that's what it is, because it's not a show. It was a project. And we submitted, we had an Imagine Inclusivity, where we had different people in the community do their interpretation of John Lennon's Imagine. And we put it all together. And that was part of a larger project that went into Orlando Winter Mini Fringe last year. that led then into the Down Teeners, which was a collaborative project of the Lutheran Towers Downtowners and My Top Teens. And we put those together to do fun parodies. And then the last part of it was our COVID, well, the second to last part of it was our COVID stories, where everybody talked about how this pandemic affected them and created some art. We put that together. And that was part of Fringe this year.
Yeah.
And then we actually created a devised episodic web series is what came out of it. It's a 10 series web series. It's available on BethMarshallPresents.com. For the link for $14, you can get all 10 episodes, and it is quite the tale. It is completely told live, taped in Zoom, and it turned out to be really cool and really amazing. And this format served the project. So all of those things together were the Inclusivity Project, and we are still a thing, but it is now will be part 2 or 3.
I saw I saw something on that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's just awesome. You see, the reason I knew it was awesome was right here, quite frankly. You're pretty much emblazoned with that inclusivity and fairness, et cetera, et cetera. Not to mention, you are dressed for what is probably, not probably.
It is.
One of the most amazing freaking things I've ever seen a group of people do in my life. Can you tell us a little bit about being out there with that guy over there, Michael Wanzi?
Yeah.
And what were you guys doing?
Okay, so the Angel Action Wings are not new. That's from the time of Matthew Shepard and his horrific tragedy and murder.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's several years old. The Laramie Project is based off of that time as well and his story. And so the Angel Action Wings are still used to really counteract the horrific Westboro Baptist Church attacking LGBTQ plus funerals or events, deaths, anything gay that's happening that they decide to show up. Of course, back in the day, they used to be a lot bigger than they are now. Now it's kind of, when you look at them, it's kind of pathetic. It's, their turnout's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of pathetic too. Oh, wait, no political statements.
No, it's true. And so this became a thing where a group of arts leaders, we had an opportunity to make 10 Angel Action Wings, which were done and dedicated in service by the costume shop at Orlando Shakes. And Jim Hausner, myself from Shakes, myself, Jeff Rebels at Orlando Rep, Michael Wanzi from Wanzi Presents, James Brenlinger from Penguin Point Productions, Clark Levi and his family, and several other. There were 10 of us total, and we all were there to represent and block out the Westboro Baptist Church protesting during After Pulse and at the funerals of people from that downtown and downtown Orlando. Now, the turnout on our side of things was immense.
Enormous.
Westboro Baptist Church had 10 to 20 people, and we had thousands. The parade happened, the whole nine. And then the people we blocked, so the people that were coming to the service could get there safely and without having to see all these nasty signs and horrible things that were being spewed. And we all sang Amazing Grace, just to tone out their nasty chants and stuff. And then other people in the community, the Castanedas, David Dorman and Scott Penyak, who were in that photo, Marty Stonerock, other people brought us like waters and umbrellas to shade us and stuff. Well, this took off. This got like a lot of news. We found ourselves being in like BuzzFeed. We found ourselves being on covers of magazines, and we were in a lot of stories. American Theater Magazine. We got interviewed. All of us did during that time, and all of that is good and fine. But it really wasn't about us. What it was about was us saying the art community, the theater community specifically, was going to be out there to show our support of the people that were affected by this tragedy directly, and and do what we could do. So as a result of that, after that, To Broadway with Love happened at the Dr. Phillips Center, other different things. We had a plan a day that raised money for the Pulse Foundation. We had a whole lot of different arts events, and the Wings had presence by varying people in the community, not just artists, but volunteers and patrons. And then the part of the Wings live, I believe, at the Center now, and part of them believe at the Center. And they're there, and they're there to be used when needed.
That is, every time I see one of those photos, I do, or a video of it, anything. I don't know if you went down and saw the Pulse.
Yeah. I've been
at the art. Have you gone to the art museum?
I've been to everything.
Museum. Yeah.
Wow. My husband's gonna take the piggies now.
Okay.
Okay.
They're like, we came, we saw, we ate. Mom, let us go back.
Bye.
Bye, Art.
That was a beautiful thing y'all did.
Thank you.
It really was. And still is, for that matter. I'm sure. And, sadly, it will probably be needed again. But it's my firm belief, there are more people who don't give a rat's ass about us one way or the other than there are people who are that much against everyone,
Yeah.
And I think if people just wake up and realize, if it weren't for, I'm going to say what Mel Brooks said. If it weren't for Jews and fags, there'd be no theater. There'd be no television. There'd be no nothing. And I'll go so far as saying there weren't for Latinos. And, I could go down the line. Okay, there you go. All right, enough of that, because I could get on a platform.
He'll get verklempt,
and that wouldn't be pretty. What's this?
Okay, so that is myself and Tommy Wooten. And
I recognize him. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. He's now in North Carolina as an artistic director of a theater there. But he was here a few years ago. This was out at the pool at the Parliament House Resort. We were doing a photo shoot for Del Shore's Sordid Lives that we were doing there. And I was playing Lavonda and Tommy was Brother Boy.
Yep. Oh, that was such a good show.
I love
such a good show. That was so much
fun. Parliament House, now finally called the Dust Bowl.
I know.
It's sad. Of losing any theatrical platform for any reason saddens me.
Yes.
The Parliament House, it's historic in so many ways to the LGBTQ culture, and for artists, because the Footlight Theater in there, so many people made a living and a full or part living on that stage. The deals that they worked with independent groups like myself, nomadic companies, to be able to do affordable theater on an annual basis, and theater for our community. And when I say that, there's a lot of entertainment venues. There's a lot of other opportunities, but there's not a lot of opportunities to do theater in a gay bar. And actual theater, not like a gig, not a performance, but a theater.
Absolutely.
And I miss that space. And I know that there's just this past week, there's been some teasers put out that there may be a new Parliament House. And I'm hopeful, and
I'm hopeful.
There will be nothing like that.
No.
Jack and I, interestingly enough, I got to do Jack and I did a show there together.
Yeah, I love that stage. That was a
Called Daddy
marvelous
Issues.
stage.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was a show for sure.
That was fun.
Did you get to see that? Did you see it?
I did. I actually was part of the casting for that.
Yep, she was.
Yeah. I was on the casting team for that.
No, dear. This is the Joe Zimmer Show. Bitch, you're going to tell us all about that right now. What about?
Everybody that was part of that season of doing shows that year was a part of that audition in that audition room. And so back in the day, like when I first moved here, David Goldman, who was the director of the show, and
yes,
all that.
we know.
Yeah, you all know well his story. Well, he had a theater, the acting studio company, and I was the guest artist teacher in his theater.
Oh wow!
Just down the road from Pulse, and I directed for him and all this stuff. And anyway, he's been away for a long time, so he doesn't know. Everybody else in there knew our talent in town. You know, like we heard of people if we've not met or whatever.
Right.
So he needed some guidance on just who could be right, age range, type wise, and that kind of stuff. And he asked me for some guidance along the way. And so I know that there was that whole season, that was run by a certain producer. That was a nightmare. And that is not how it runs at the Parliament House. We took our own show back. We made Sort of Lives happen. We made Fab Stories happen. But we know what horrible things happened along the way. That was not the Parliament House that did that. That was a specific producer.
Yes, we know definitely.
Well, I happen to know, Wendy, who played my wife in that show.
She's fantastic. I love Wendy Stark, and she's one of Jack's besties too, I think.
Yeah, we actually have known each other since I first got down here, 89, 90 in Seaside.
Yes. Oh man, Seaside's great. Yeah.
That's how Wendy and I met, Seaside.
All I will say about that whole thing
Daddy issues
is at the end of the day,
there were issues.
There were issues. It was not for Daddy Issues. It was not only the producer. Okay.
I know.
The producer wasn't around all that much.
Yeah.
It was not only a producer. I'm not going to say who was the issue. Okay. I won't say.
It was not the cast, though. The cast was tight. And
it wasn't the stage manager.
No, well, maybe a little. No, I'm kidding.
No, it was the cast was so tight, and as the show, it was a joy to do the show.
Something. That show was one of the best written things I've ever been involved in.
Yeah.
Okay. And its own worst enemy was the writer of the show.
Yeah.
That's the end of that. Okay.
Moving on.
But I think you say another gay bar that is dabbled in it, and because of Mr. Wansi, is Savoy.
Yeah.
Where I was lucky to wind up 1957.
Yeah. With
Scott Browning, who you may know.
Yes.
Scott, a brilliant writer, wrote a great show. So there are opportunities out there, and I think it's great that we can do a show. I mean, I really do think it's great that you can do a show in a gay bar. I know that sounds very odd, but you said it first.
Oh, I mean, I'm very pro doing theater anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
it's kind of cool to do theater in a bar,
Yeah,
it has and that was a bar.
It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages.
Of course.
It's still a bar, and people will act like they're in a bar if they've had too much to drink. But you know what?
It's cool.
I would rather people do that in a bar than do that in a legit theater.
Hello, Winter Garden.
Lord knows there are plenty of theaters in town where people oftentimes have their little happy hour cocktail parties and come 10 sheets to the wind. I mean, it's really bad.
It happens. You know, it used to happen out of Disney every now and again, believe it or not. So, you know.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure it happens.
Hammered over at Epcot. And I want to, before I forget about it, because I'm going to get to some other stuff here in a moment, but I do want to bring up this guy right here. Who might that be? I know who it is, but who is that?
That's my whole wide world.
Yay.
That's my son, Darth Napic. He's everything. He's amazing. He is 26. He just moved out of Orlando. He moved to Fort Collins, Colorado in April.
God love him.
He's a hiker. He's an outdoorsy kind of guy. He's an artist. He does animation. He's learning. Okay, this is like the hot news. Yes. Hot off the press. My son is as behind the scenes as you can get. He, for a while, was a carpenter in my company. He has a technical theater degree. He's a hands guy. He makes art with his hands. And he's a comics guy. He likes to draw his whole life. So we have our weekly Zooms or FaceTimes, and he messaged me and he tells me, Mom, this is going to be a shock. He's like, so I would like for you to teach me acting lessons.
He didn't.
He did. My heart dropped. It was like, oh my God. You know, I was like, proud mom. I was in proud mom, but this was different. And his reasoning was because of his animation. He said that so oftentimes the animation is limited because animators don't understand facial emoting. And if they want to do that, they'll get an actor to do their voice, and the voice actor will do the work, or the animator will limit that. He wants to be able to do it all, so he can do that. And then he wants to be able to learn voice acting so that he can present his stuff as a whole package. He comes prepared with this. Not only that, he then proceeds to talk to me about the 3 elements of acting. He comes with the artist way. I'm sitting here going, you have heard me coach, and now you're coming to the table with yourself prepped on day one. So we've had 2 weeks of 1 hour lessons, and I thought it was going to be like weird, you know, or whatever, because he's my kid, and it hasn't been at all. It's been like so rewarding.
Wow.
Very cool.
Because he's always been kind of on the shy side. And
Introverted. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what I know is this: he's committed to process.
There you go.
You know, there's not a darn thing wrong with that. You see, but but I am not. Okay, when I read the script, I go, "Oh, okay, let's do this." That's me. But but that's my process, I guess. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair enough? You know.
Hey, just so you know, there's another E in presents on my website. It's
let me fix it.
RESE.
Oh yes. Oh, Beth, I'm sorry. No can't spell.
Spelling is not my long. You see, the kid can probably spell too. I'll bet you.
if you've ever gotten emails from him, actually, I should say neither of us can. Well, no, I just can't type. I can spell. I can't type. But yeah.
So it should look more like this.
It's coming. It's coming.
Well, show it to me here. Show it to me.
Do your magic. Make it appear. I like that magic trick, by the way. It made
did you like it?
There you go.
There.
Did you like it? There's even better stuff than that, but that came in the mail this morning. And when I opened it up and I did it for myself, I said, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He could do some really cool. He's done I've seen some of his kid shows, you know, things that he's actually really darn good.
You should do Fringe. You should do kids Fringe, Joe.
You know what? I wish they would call me, but
you have to go to them.
I mean, I'll put a word into Genevieve, who is that coordinator over there, and she would love to have you in. I'm sure.
I would love to. I'm not. I'm retired. I'm done. I'm on disability because I went to Japan. They damn near killed me. And that's a fact. Diabetes and all this good stuff. Anyways, but I'm open to doing anything. I say I'm retired, but does anybody really retire from the industry?
No.
True.
I mean, I guess if you quit completely, but no, not if no.
I think
Not for age, not for
No, it's only if it literally you are in a bed and they can't wheel you on stage.
Yeah.
And then you might get a video spot.
There you go.
You never know. Voiceovers are there too.
Yeah.
So, but I would, honest to God, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Now, I'm going to bring up a photo that might be, I will tell you that, tell us about this incredible person right here.
Well, that incredible person really doesn't need any introduction. Miss Sammy, Sam Singhouse, particularly in that moment, and in these moments.
Yeah.
Sammy was June, our cis bro in Michael Wanzi's Ladies of Eola Heights.
Yep.
He is the only cast member to have been in the original male version and then the version with all 6 versions that we've done with us. Mm-hmm. I'm so grateful to have, during this COVID time, had a Zoom show that we did, and it was his last performance. Yeah. It was 6. It was Ladies of Eola Heights Part 6, and he was in it. And yes, everybody loves, with losing Sam, it's like losing 2 people, because you're losing Miss Sammy and you're losing Sam, the guy. Mm-hmm. And we share a lot of commonalities and interests outside of theater. And we had so many special moments in the theater, because Sammy hosted so much for many fundraising events that I've been involved with for numerous causes, but primarily with me through Fringe, also through Pulse, through any kind of LGBTQ plus event, also for kids event. Sammy was a donor to Top Teens. And also we share love for animals, to our dogs, our animals. And, I've had huge struggles with my weight my whole life. He's always been always a backbone for me. He's always supportive and fun and funny as a person, kind. There is no negative. Anybody you talk to about Sam or Sammy, there is no negative to be said. No. There is no criticism. He's gone too soon. He's also one of the healthiest. He was one of the healthiest people I ever met.
Yeah.
Ain't that always the way to go?
Huh? I know. He worked out. He was vegetarian, almost like practically vegan, maybe not even vegan by that point. He was a gem. And, his brain cancer situation, it affected him. We all kind of thought that he was maybe really struggling with Marcy, his sister-in-law's passing before, who was amazing costumer, wonderful woman, total broad. But then we found out what the real deal was with Sammy, and it's dreadful. He found love, later in life, and they had such a short time together, and it's just, and we all never really had. We've had varying ceremonies and things along the way, but it's everybody that we've lost this past year and a half, whether it's been from COVID or not COVID. It's been very difficult to have a grieving process, because we all have not been able to come together and be communal to properly grieve in the way we need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. And that's been for so many people that we've lost in the industry.
I know only too well.
Yes, you do.
Exactly what you're talking about. I don't know if you were able to see the opening of the show.
Yeah, I watched
credits.
Yeah.
But at the end there, that in memory. God damn it. Okay.
It's okay. Breathe.
That was in memory of my husband. Mm-hmm. Who passed away not from COVID, but from myotonic dystrophy just before Thanksgiving of last year. And
what is that?
Myotonic dystrophy. He's going to get mad at me right now. Get ready. Get ready. Something's going to happen.
Lightning.
He's one of Jerry's kids. Okay. And whenever I said that, he would laugh and yet kick me under the table really hard. It was a type of muscular dystrophy that was very degenerative. And we knew the score, you know. But what a shitty time for it to happen.
Yeah.
You know. But I certainly get it. And you know, you're absolutely right. Everybody, we've lost a few people.
Oh my God.
Not just one or two. I mean, a couple. Well, I know a few to COVID that I'm aware of. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm not as connected as I used to be. And then those two other things like Sammy or Chris. And that just blows. It just blows.
There is on November 15th, the save the date just went out today.
Yep.
And it's GoPAR, Greater Orlando Performing Arts Relief fundraiser, but it's also a life celebration. And it's going to be a life celebration of all the people in this industry that we know that have lost their lives in the course of this time that we've been down.
It'll be at the Rep.
And it's going to be at the Rep. And like there's a running list going, and you know, it's just going to be comprehensive and just showing some pictures and a tribute, and you know, just so that we all can kind of collectively come together.
Is it going to be a performance thing as well?
It's going to be like it's really in the preliminary. Literally, we are literally just talking about it. The arts leaders are kind of going to put it on, but we're going to get names. We have a run list of names, and we're of course taking it from everybody else. And yes, and all the money will go to GoPAR.
Right.
But it's more about a life tribute than it is a fundraiser. You know what I'm saying?
I just got the email myself today.
I probably did get the email. I know I got something from R. Kelly in text about that, but I get so many texts in a given.
It's very preliminary, and I think the reason it went out is because. I mean, and it kind of went out prematurely, to be honest, but because it's being hit in Matt Palm's season preview, which is deadlined for tomorrow. So we wanted it to be on people's radar. So we kind of wanted the info out there, but I mean, so we're hesitant to say like any, you know, who's performing, who's mentioned,
No, it's just save the date.
Yeah.
Save the date.
Whose idea was that?
It's all about, we have an arts leader meeting that happens monthly. And it started because United Arts and many other arts organizations do a thing for the executive directors, but there was nothing that was really for the artistic directors. When Pulse happened, it became like, let's just come together and do this, right? After that, it became, hey, we should at least meet once a year, talk to each other, whatever. And then that happened. Well, then COVID happened. And what was an annual meeting? And then we were doing like, we're all going to do something great for Conway Cares, because that's Jeff Rebel's, established foundation that give food to children that are in hunger. And theaters contributed to that at Christmas. And it was an opt-in situation. Not everybody did it, but a lot of us did. Well, when COVID hit, it went from let's, meet and do these cool things together every now and again to we're meeting every week to talk about how we're going to survive. And that's what happened. Then George Floyd happened. And then that became we're going to, dismantle how art's seen. We cannot come back white. We cannot. Mm-hmm. We have to come back right. And we have a lot of repair to do. And we've done a lot of work this past year. There's a lot of positive changes, but there's no time to pat ourselves on the back for any of it. It's
too much to do.
Forward. So to answer your question in a nutshell, GoPAR started with Wanzi Kenny and Rich Sharon doing weekly showcases to just
Mhm.
raise the money for artists in need.
Yep.
What they didn't have was a back end structure to really collect money.
Yeah.
And there was such a great need that, it's all great and fine, like everybody's grateful to have, $100 to eat or pay a bill right then.
Yeah.
But it needed to be structured. So Feed the Need came out of that, or Kelly was involved.
What? I got to tell you,
He was involved in that.
I was down there every week, including literally. I was.
Then we might have met and not realized it.
It's very possible. I was shoved out of the house by my husband, who was at that time literally dying.
Yeah.
Shoved out of the house every single Friday to get down there and do that and clap and yell and scream.
So you did the stuff at Plaza Live.
He did the Plaza.
Yeah.
He did
Okay.
The plaza.
And so I was there.
We were there at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's.
Yeah.
I was there a couple times at St. Luke's. It became a little much because I was worried about being too far from him.
Sure.
It was not that far. In fact, literally, this is wild. The day after he passed away, I went down to there as a little tribute to him.
Of course.
At the Plaza Live to clap and give food to those people. It was so very important to me. So very important to me to see those people.
So all of this with GoPar, St. Luke's had a structure that was already kind of built in, to do something like this. It's now to the point where GoPar needs to be its own thing. It can't just be under the umbrella of St. Luke's anymore. But so that's happening. There's a steering committee. I am not on that committee. I am a partnering organization. So basically what that means is.
Oh no, did she freeze?
A little bit.
Oh, phooey.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, come back, Beth. Come back. We still got to talk about the teens. Come back.
Yeah, that was my
Hi. I don't know what happened. I like everybody just disappeared.
You froze for a second.
Lost it for a second. Every now and again, things freeze up. It happens.
Yeah. So basically, we all just GoPar kind of came out of necessity to help artists, and so now it's being steered by. There's a committee. I'm not on that committee, but it's out of the Arts Leaders Group, and there's a mix of arts leaders, volunteers at St. Luke's, and other people that I'm not aware of, and they handle it. BMP is a partner, and so we help donate money. We help put on fundraising events. We help facilitate and promote GoPar. So the survey that you got from RK for all performers to sign, there's still a few more days, but it's not just performers. It's arts administrators. It's tech.
Right.
It's every aspect. And actually, the more sample, we have to have 1,000 samples. The last I heard 3 days ago, we were at 700. So hopefully we get it up there.
Not till 300 in the afternoon.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's to help get more funding and such. So that's how GoPar came to fruition. And this November 15th date is kind of going to be at least the idea of us having an annual time to do something. Yeah.
I think that's fabulous. It's on my calendar already.
Well, it's on my mind as far as Feed the Need, at least down at Plaza Live, where I was a lot. I just want to throw kudos out there to my dear, dear friend, a wonderful lady, Miss Rhonda Day Ross, who was out there every single day and made sure things kept going.
Awesome.
She even danced out there. We did a weekly dance.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool entertainment along the way, dueling pianos and dancers and comedics and singing groups.
Yeah.
It was delightful. It was so lovely. Now, Beth, we've got a few minutes left, and I do not want to leave this out because I think this may be the most important work you do.
Yes. Thank you.
Work with the kids.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Beth, I believe these kids are our future, the future of our business, and I want to hear about that.
Well, Top Teens is I love Top Teens. Okay, so Top Teens is a program that I created. We're in our 7th year, and it's a scholarship program. That's my current Top Teens that we just finished in June. That's out at Penguin Point Productions in the Black Box, and there they are. And there are 17 kids. They're selected a plethora of ways. Some of them are kids that coach with me. Some of them are recommendations by teachers or industry professionals. Some I've scouted. Some have come to me through auditions. It's just a mix of a mix of different ways. And they're kids that lead in all areas of art. So it's not an apples to apples. It's not just singers, dancers, or whatever. It's actors. It's technicians, designers. It's people that are interested in front of house. It's people that are interested in arts administration, teaching, activism. And we offer different scholarships. We're sponsored in part by Florida Theatrical Association. We also have in-kind partnership for space and teaching from Class Act Studios Orlando and Penguin Point Productions, and then individual donations from the community. And together we, and then my company matches it. So what would cost about $600 per kid, we get it down to $200 is off the top for sure. Then we offer scholarships that are based on either DEI or need, or they're based on talent. You know, they're competitive. And then they also get training in all the different areas. I cater the program to them. So I don't put out the schedule and go, okay, this is a pay to play. We're going to do this, and there's going to be a show at the end. Like, really, no offense, but every other theater in town. I mean, we do it's more like a conservatory.
I respect that, my dear. I respect what you just said.
I mean, I have no problem with kids going and doing that stuff. If it's like hobbyist type stuff, but these are the kids that are serious, that really want to do this for a career. So they're paying to be trained in a conservatory environment to compete at the highest level of one or two things. And this is kind of the difference. There are the kids that are on that sort of MT track or acting track to go to the top 20 schools. That's about half of my program. Then there are the other half, which are staying here locally. And what I do is I bring in for adjudication industry professionals that are in a position to hire them and give them money right now. Yes. You know what I mean? And give them jobs right now. Yes. And get them in a mentorship, internship, or apprenticeship type program to grow our future. Awesome. And that's really, that's what I do. And it's an intensive. So Plan a Day now, it's been many things along the years, but Plan a Day is one of the fundraisers for it, as well as just anytime I can do a fundraiser for it, I do. And all of that money goes into the program, and we give scholarships. Billy Maines, who we talked about earlier, I have a Billy Maines Arts Activism Scholarship since his passing. His widowed husband, Anthony Moss, sees to the Billy Maines Society. They are one of our sponsors, and they give us a scholarship. And Florida Theatrical Scholarships everyone in. And that covers that $200 to get everyone in there. And then the rest comes from the community.
It has grown. I mean, because I've done, as you know, I've done Playing Today for a few years, on and off and on. It has grown tremendously. And the kids are amazing.
They're cool.
Really, really amazing.
They work hard.
Talent, but in spirit.
Jack does not know this about me, and I don't generally tell anybody about this. But before COVID, I used to go to the high school productions. I used to go to the church production, the little church things that are going on with the kids. One of the greatest joys I have in my life is watching kids perform, watching young people. I can call them kids. I'm going to be 60. Okay. I can do
that. Yeah.
watching young people perform. One of the greatest joys in my life that I have is performing for young people. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. They're pure. They haven't been tainted yet. The little guys especially.
See, I love working with all kids. I love kids. My wheelhouse is that sort of sophomore and high school year.
Oh yeah.
Through college.
Yeah.
Up to 18, 19-year-old. So my youngest kid in the program was 14, and my oldest is 19, and they're going into their sophomore years of college. You know what I mean? And so it's a mix. And every year that there's a handful that become interns for the company. And then I'll bring in, like, I have my little mascot, Ella Hadley, she's 11, who Jack got to work with some of my teens in Fringe at this past Christmas.
Yep. They were so talented. They were a joy. They really were.
That was a fun, great live event that was very safe. Fringe handled that very good job.
Yes, they did.
This is all I hear. This is what I hear about. Well, this is what I hear about you, is your work with. And to me, that's wow. Yeah. That's so freaking awesome.
Yeah,
it really is. Not to mention, it's got to be rewarding as well.
It's so rewarding. It's the joy. It's where my joy is. I mean, like, there's a lot of things I like to do in the arts, but like coaching the teens and managing their careers, and really it's also kind of guidance counseling for their paths in the arts. That's, that is my sweet spot. But the thing with me is I want really serious kids. I don't want kids that are like just hobbying around.
I get it. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I've seen now. I have worked with some kids who are serious. Yes. And well, they shouldn't be. Did I say that?
And the other thing is, I have a very strong rule of I don't take any kids whose parents I wouldn't go out and have a coffee or a cocktail with. I don't want to deal with any drama, because I am super political, and I am certain that, like, every year I get asked to come and run a school theater program or something like that, right? I don't want to. I'm certain I'll drop an F-bomb along the way to get me fired. So I don't want any parents who are not going to be able to deal with something like that in the mix. I want them to know what it's like really in this business, and how we all have to work together as a community, and how hard we have to work to make money, to get noticed, how much the side hustle matters, how much our work is getting the next job, and also the networking and how big of a deal that is. Yeah. So my kids are learning that.
Yes.
Do you realize, and well, obviously you do, because you wouldn't be doing it, what an incredible head start you are giving these kids?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I had to learn that all after the fact.
I did too. And Joe, that is really one of the reasons I do it, because I heard this saying, somewhere along the way, like Oprah or something, I don't know, but it's like, be to the youth what you wish you had.
Yes.
And that's what I try to do. I'm like, I wish I had a mentor like me when I was their age. Yeah. I wish I had that. And so I try to do that, and so that's what and I keep it small. I keep it boutique-y, because I want them to have access to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I have been so incredibly fortunate for the people that I've known, and the people that I worked with, and the people I worked with as I was coming up to wherever the hell I am. I don't really know. I don't know if I've been a success or not. I kind of assume I have, but I've done some cool stuff. I'm going to say I've done some cool shit. There's no two ways about it. It's one of my favorite words. That and fuck are my two favorite words.
Yeah, I really like fuck.
Yeah,
It's a good word. It's a good word in the right context. It's an excellent word.
Yes.
It's an excellent word. But so I was lucky. I did know a little bit more than the average guy before I moved down here and said, "Hey, I'm going to go do something."
And I was on the other end of that. I knew nothing. My dad was an opera singer, but I mean, I got absolutely no support from home because my father was just backing off, many reasons, but I really got no support at home. I had no mentor. When I went to college, I sort of had a mentor if I wanted to sleep with him. Let's leave that alone.
Yeah.
I didn't. There we go. And I just, so I came into the whole thing really blind. And I see what you do with the kids, which is why I love coaching too, when I can. And if there had been somebody there who could have shown me the ropes, or at least told me about the ropes, my whole trajectory might have changed. I'm proud of what I did, but
I finally, when I went to college, I went to Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri, and I loved the school. And it was the perfect mix of, I went on a math scholarship. I have a math degree, a theater degree, and a women's studies minor. And it's a women's school, but the guys, there were 15 guys each year that got brought in for tech, theater, and dance. And so I felt I was in a co-ed school, right?
Yeah.
And we worked, we did Okoboji Summer Stock Theater. We did a Summer Stock conservatory there on campus. And I got Beth Leonard, who she was my mentor as a directing mentor. And finally I was like, great. Then when I came to Orlando, Margot Knight, who used to run the United Arts of Central Florida, she personally was a very good mentor to me when I was in arts administration and running nonprofits. I felt that. But as an actor, as a coach, I did not have mentorship. Now I kind of do. I mean, Dennis Neal is a definite mentor of mine. And Margot still is, and Beth still is. And then I have activism mentors along the way. But in the acting scene of things and coming from Kentucky and everything, I did not have that. And it wasn't until college. So this whole idea, my family never anticipated that I would really fully pursue this.
Yeah.
I just have to say again, you're giving them an incredible head start. You're telling it like it is. I'm sure. I think the feeling there is no other way you can do
Maybe
that.
Too much. Some people would argue too much. I say it too much.
I don't believe there. I don't believe there is a too much when it comes to this business.
I agree too.
Because you know what, you gotta be kind of tough.
You have to. Yeah.
With the crap. And we do deal with some crap. There's no two ways about it. As wonderful as what we get to do is, we do deal with some crap. And that sucks. No two ways about it. Like
it totally sucks. I mean, the stuff like Jack was saying about like with her teacher, like if you would sleep with and all that kind. I mean, that is still relevant today.
Yes, it is.
And here's the thing. And let me tell you something. I personally, myself, I respect women. I think we should have a woman in the damn White House. I think things would be a lot different if we did. Better, frankly. I think I firmly believe that.
I will say I of course want a woman in the White House. I voted for a woman in the White House. That said, I am so grateful that we have who we have in this moment in time.
Oh, yes.
We're
all agreed on that.
Oh my God.
The calmness that there's at least in all this storm and all this mess, there has not been continued chaos and waking up with having anxiety attacks over the world. And that there is something to say. I mean, Joe Biden is moderate for me, but I will say that he has a long lineage and history, and whatever he's doing keep things calm, and him and Kamala Harris are doing, and they're people. You know what I mean?
Bottom line, Beth, could you go out and have a beer with Joe Biden?
I don't drink beer, but yes.
Yeah, thank you. But you can have a drink with him, right?
Yes.
You get the drift. Same with Barack Obama. I feel as though.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Trump. I
go out with Barack Obama before Joe Biden, but yeah.
Hell yeah. Either one of them, but I'll take either. I'll take Kamala too, and I'll take. I'll take Hillary. Although sometimes she pisses me off. I'll be honest. But
Who does?
Hillary sometimes pisses me off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get that. She sometimes pisses me off too, but I still voted for her.
My point being,
you know what?
It's in our industry. I have respect for everybody. I want everybody to work. Okay?
I do too.
I have so much respect for you that you do work with these kids and you tell them like it is. You need to know if you are going to try to go into this business, you damn well better know what you're going into. I had little bit of an idea, and I was even sheltered from that to a certain degree because I came into it saying I'm going to go work for Disney, and I did, and I made it to as good as you could get. I was Sam the bartender at the Diamond Horseshoe. There wasn't a better gig out there than that at that time. That was it. That was a good gig. I did a lot of good gigs in town. I was very lucky, very lucky. Now I'm just old and fading. Yeah.
Oh, you're not. Don't say that. There's many years left to do whatever there is to do.
And it's okay, Beth. I'll smack him later.
The magic shows, whatever. I mean, if
something fun comes up and I see it, you can bet that I will be front and center on that audition list. You know what? You
should come and do Playing a Day with us sometime, Joe.
He really should.
I would love it. I would love to. But you know what? Because I have been I literally was in the theme park world for so long, including over in Tokyo and Osaka. You know what? I had no idea this stuff was going on.
Sure. Yeah.
Until recently.
I've been trying to pull him in for years.
I know so few people literally in our industry in this town outside of that circle. Slowly, I am broadening that out. Slowly. At 60, Jesus Christ. Come on. But
you gotta get out and see some more theater. You gotta get out and do some more theater.
Thank you. I keep telling him that.
The reason I did not go to Fringe shows, I will tell you the God's truth. Every time I went through a Fringe show, it was like the kiss of death. The show sucked. The show went in the toilet. A good example, the mayor of Orange Avenue. This goes back a few dozen years.
I was running Fringe when that happened.
Yes. And
Michael Walters was good, though.
My dearest friend, my dear friend Michael Walters was in that. And Michael Wanzi was in the audience the night I went and saw the show. It was the single most horribly written thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
I was running Fringe when it happened, so I'm not going to comment on that one way or another. But I will tell you, Joe, there are worse shows than that one.
You know what? I find it very hard to believe, my dear.
Oh,
I will tell you.
I promise you there are. But I will tell you this. When it comes to Fringe and the beauty of it, the best theater I've ever seen in my life and the worst theater I've ever seen in my life is out of Fringe. And that's not Orlando. That's globally. That's globally.
Oh, yes. And let me tell you, did I hate Orange Avenue? No. I was delighted. I was delighted with Orange Avenue. Why was I delighted? Because I got to see my dear friend Michael Walters suffer so greatly. I enjoyed that. I mean, the night we were there, the entire show was summed up in one moment. There was a sword leaning up against a box, and suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, that sword fell over, and Michael said, "Shit." And that pretty much summed up the entire production.
Jack, did you see it? Yeah.
Wanzi was on the floor.
You know who it's written by, who it's produced by.
I know it. I knew her very well.
And I'm sure it was a wonderful person. I'm sure it was a well-meaning, delightful person. Okay? I mean that sincerely.
Beth, let's just be quiet, Beth.
Wait, it wasn't you, Beth. Dear God, it wasn't you.
No.
Oh, sweet Christ.
I would be so loud about it if it were. No.
Yes.
No.
No, but I have to say, you know,
Well,
seriously.
let me tell you, I met the woman it was based on, and let me tell you, Michael pretty much nailed that woman.
Oh, she's the character, and rest her soul. She's passed.
Yeah.
Michael did a great job. Yeah, she produced it, but she did not write it.
No.
Yeah, but and it was there during my time, so
And she was so very, and I have to tell you, that lady was. I frequented her shop. She was so very proud of that show.
Mm-hmm.
She was so very proud of Michael's performance of her in that show.
Oh,
yes, she was.
Well, Michael's performance was fantastic.
Yeah.
But so is that the last time you came to Fringe, Jeff?
That was no.
Pretty much, I think, right? Till I dragged you.
Close to it. I saw a show that Jack was in.
What?
With the largest cast in the history of Fringe, I'm sure.
Where
Jack played an angel, I think.
What?
Yes, that was Paul's show. Oh God, It wasn't. I keep on thinking Phantasmagoria. It wasn't. But it wasn't. Even Paul will say it wasn't the most wonderful show.
What, Paul Castaneda or Paul who?
Strictly? Yeah, Paul Castaneda. Yeah,
okay.
Paul Castaneda.
When was it?
Oh God, 10 years? No, 4.
Was that really Fringe or no?
No.
So
and that was in Michael's time.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what it was.
But I will
it's
tell
okay.
You,
it's okay. Oh wait, Beth, you did see it. You did see it because you were in the audience when we were doing a rehearsal. I was in my little thing in my angel wings, and we were singing, put the bodies on the floor. The bodies on the floor. Yeah, and you said you were hysterical, and you said to Paul, because we heard you. You said to Paul, "Oh my God, this is one of the damn funniest things I ever saw." Jack Ledoux singing with the whips and everything. Put the bodies on the floor in angel wings. And you were hysterical. You remember that now, right? You were hysterical.
Yes, I do. But here's the whole. So if I was in a dress rehearsal, yes. I must have been still running Fringe.
No, you weren't running it, but you were.
I just came to the dress rehearsal. Okay.
Yeah. You were involved, but you were not running it.
Trying to get a jump start on seeing shows, probably.
Yes. There you go. And I will tell you, I came back this year. I saw Frog Pig.
Oh
my God! I saw Michael Wanzi's show, which shocked the hell out of me.
Radisson,
totally not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I saw fucking men. I'm not going to say anymore. I
heard some acting and that was good.
I saw it and never mind. I can't.
You didn't think so? Okay.
No.
Hello.
No.
I might be confusing that with a different show.
Exceptions, but overall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exceptions.
I'm going to be in so much shit for that. And then I saw this delightful little show called Coffee and Cedar.
Thank you.
I was thinking about seeing that. I didn't get to see that, but
it's okay. We were sold out. We sold out before it even opened.
The damn thing opened.
You were in it, and Jim Cundiff, or
no. I directed it.
Who was in it?
Actually, Russell Trahan was in it, and John Jimenez.
Oh yeah, cool.
We were sold out.
Okay.
Nobody got in to see it because it sold out 3 times.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about that Fringe has to evaluate now, because it's back like in my day. This past year for festival, with the reduced capacity, and more shows sold out, and the individual companies made more money.
Yes.
See, I think that's a good idea.
And well, there's two philosophies, and it's probably the one philosophy that Mike and I disagree with the most, Marinaccio and I do, which is a calf modeled festival versus an open access festival. I personally would not have as many bring your own venues.
I agree.
I would have a smaller festival, and I would make sure that the people in the festival, even though it's grown so much now that really half the festival by lottery still doesn't get in, even at the size it normally is. So fewer people would still get in, but I would rather see fewer artists get in and the ones that do really being able to make that profit and making a valuable,
Yes.
The reality is not everybody does Fringe to make money.
No, exactly.
Very fair.
I agree with you completely. I mean, honestly, if it had not been for the situation, we were on the waiting list. We never would have gotten in. And that would have been horrible for us. But the fact that so many people were able to see the shows, even they were sold out, it wasn't like, oh my God, I have to choose between these 10 shows because they're all running at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
So here's the thing, Joe, and like just getting a sensibility of like what you've said that you kind of like and what you don't like. Okay, so this is something I'll give you all an in of what some people do. Some people will ask me like, what should I see? What should I not see? And they will base, and I like, it's like I kind of matchmake. I'm like, I ask them what type of theater they like. It's not just about what I think's good. It's about what I think they like. And then, I go from there. Like for me, I'm not that into musicals, but I can certainly recommend some great freaking musicals. You know what I mean? Like,
Fair enough.
And so, I'll say like, here's what's great. Like critics going to be critics' choice. Here's what's great. That's going to be popular. Here's what's great. It's kind of out of town, off the wall, or local, off the wall. And, and then I have a friend in town who says, kind of like what you were talking about with Mayor, tell me the crappy shows. Because he wants to go see these shows. He wants to like have some cocktails and laugh his ass off of how bad the train wreck of a show is.
Absolutely.
And just have fun. And I go, yeah. Now I'm not going to say who this person is, although he wouldn't care. But it's just because I don't want anybody seeing him in the audience and then
this means it's a crappy show.
and let me qualify what I said. But before I go underwater, let me qualify what I said about fucking men. It was okay.
Let me tell you about fucking men.
Thank you very much. And I know a little bit about, but it was okay. It was too. Here's what it was. It was too fucking long. Okay, it was too long. It was a 90-minute show that should have been an hour. How's that? Fair enough.
How about that? I mean, here's the reality. Most people want to see nothing more than an hour at Fringe, no matter how phenomenal it is.
Agreed.
And there are maybe one or two shows that can be over an hour that are shows that are kind of workshopping to be something more and run longer. Like Josie and Gracie was one at Fringe.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
That I think, was deserving of a longer time slot. And shows that are going to go do that. But most people audience wise, they want it to be they want it to be an hour or under an hour.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yes.
That's where I am. That's where I am. I don't remember how long Wanzi's show was.
I'm sure it was probably around an hour.
It was an hour. It was an hour. Our show was with applause and everything was 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's right where we wanted it,
Wanzi's an old hand at this. Wanzi is an old hand at this. He gets it. And maybe that, there's an interesting thought right there, Beth, for Fringe. Maybe there should be a mentorship program for Fringe.
There is. Yes, there is. And it's sort of global, but yeah. But the thing about it is that
What the fuck do I know, really? But,
Well, there's so many reasons to do Fringe, and it depends on where you're at, because
Yes.
I mean, we are an amazing festival, but what sells in Orlando is not necessarily what's going to sell in Winnipeg, Canada, or Edmonton, Canada, or Edinburgh, or right. So, yeah. So there's that. Now, good, solid theater and people that tour the circuit have
they'll sell everywhere
to their shows, but there are the people that like for BNP, I'm to a point now where doing the Orlando Fringe is not to make money for my company. I mean, I'm better off because I do largely dramas. So I'm better off doing a drama, not competing with burlesque and comedy and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're not dealing with show me your dick. I'm sorry.
I mean, and
I'm
there's
sorry. Okay. I understand.
I'm tired.
I mean, we are what we are here in Orlando, and
nobody likes a dick better than I do. Okay, let's be honest. But the bottom line,
I mean,
okay.
Bottom line, enough. Okay, enough.
Well, but like Beth said, we are known for burlesque. We are known for the gay shows. We are known for all of that. That whole.
I'll tell you this: the out-of-town artists that come to do theater here, aren't doing those kind of shows necessarily, and they're doing just fine. Yeah. Or they would not be coming back here. And then the other thing is, there's tons of like the teen Fringe and the teen shows and stuff. It has its own built-in audience with parents and grandparents.
And there's stuff at King's Fringe that is really amazing stuff.
And
high school was for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. But they're in Orlando Fringe now because of our beautiful venues and because of a lot of things. There is, no matter how small your show is or what you're doing, there is a level of production value that is kind of, people are looking for it.
Yes.
And it's expected. Our applications are among the higher side of applications.
Yes.
And people are expecting a level of production value that is, we have some of the best techs in the world at our festival. We have some of the best venues in the world. And we have some great donors. We are a built-in tourism town, and because of the parks and because of our weather and because of our beaches and because of everything, we can offer our artists more than just the festival.
When they're building,
yeah. And there's also opportunity here for them to do holdovers. Yep. So there's a lot that we can offer our national internet. We bill it. We house every single one. They don't pay. They have a place to stay.
Well, I think one of the reasons we have an incredible base of talent in Orlando.
Some of the best in the world.
We've got the best. Why do we have that? And so many people, and I have to say this, so many people poo-poo the theme parks.
It's there. Why?
I made my freaking living and made a career out of that and did real well. I own my house. It's over there. I own my house. I own the studio I'm in. Why? Because of theme parks.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that business. Okay?
No, and it can be a really great training ground.
Exactly. And,
yeah.
And if you can make it there, let's face it, if you can make it there, you can freaking make it pretty much anywhere.
Thank you, New York.
If you talk about backbiting, that's the place to be. Beth, I've got to tell you, this has been a joy for me.
Truly. It's been a joy for me as well, y'all. Thank you for having me.
I wanted you on here so badly.
I know,
and I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
We both feel very lucky to have you. I've said this before. I will say it again. If you ever need me for anything, I don't care what it is, performing, whatever you need, you know what? You got my
contact. Yeah.
No, you can text me. I'm there for you, kid, because I believe in what you're doing.
I appreciate you. I really
believe in what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already done it, a big round of applause for Ms. Beth MArshall. An amazing, amazing person. Yep. Thank you, Beth MArshall.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was
Isn't
awesome.
she just awesome? I told
That
you.
was freaking awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I enjoyed myself so very much.
Yep.
Uh,
I knew you would.
Now, not next week, but the week after, folks, Joel Swanson. Now, I know a lot of y'all come in and check this thing out after the fact over on YouTube. Great. I wish y'all would come in and check it out initially, but okay. But Joel Swanson will be up August 12th. We've got a possibility. We got possibilities for August 5th. We don't know yet. It was going to be Joel. We had to move him because this is our business. We make our money, and he had a gig. And we do that.
And good for him.
You damn straight.
Yeah.
So there you go. If indeed, folks, anybody out there, if you think you want to be on the show, if you've got stories, if you've got fun stories, and remember, when Jack and I talk about people in show business, understand, we're talking about everybody.
Yeah.
Not just the guys on the stage, not just the producers. There's guys out there at Disney who shovel up after the horses who are some of the funniest people in the entire universe.
Yep.
And they've got stories. They are in show business. I'm sorry. Walt said that was a show. Guess what? If you go out there and walk, and Jack and I can attest to this, if you go out there and just walk around and watch the people, it is the single greatest show in town. Yes?
Yeah.
And for us, it happens to be free, thanks to my most beloved husband, Chris,
Yay.
with a silver pass. Jack, as always, I adore you. Your family, that whole thing that I posted on Facebook, right? Facebook.
It's been a long night.
They say family is by blood. No. Family is by who stands up for you and stands by you.
It's from your heart,
etc. It's in your heart.
Yep.
Your family. Thanks, my love. You take care of yourself. I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been through one more show, and it's been a lot of fun. Thursday, August 12th, Joel Swanson, Frog Pig. Frog Pig will not be with him, I don't think. We kind of talked about that. It'll be Joel and maybe some others. Who knows? We don't know yet. I do have some clips from the show to show during that, which I actually videotaped during his show. I probably wasn't supposed to, but what do I care? It's not my show. Anyways, I love y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Get vaccinated. For God's sakes, it ain't going to hurt you. Get on board. Let's make this a better world, no matter how we have to do it. Above all else, get out there. When you look out there, look for the helpers. They're there. They're helping. And you can help too. You all know how. Take care. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Paul. Bye, Mark. Take care.